Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the International Women's Day. This is the Women Focus Canada that is presenting this program to everyone today. You're welcome from all over the world. We have people from different parts of the world, and we are happy to have you here. My name is Shade Ahibe. I'm going to be the background helper for this event. I'm doing the IT support and also participating in this event, and I am happy to be here. It's been a lot of hard work from an entire team. You're going to meet people along the way, entire hard work throughout this event. And we're very happy that today is finally here. So we would like to acknowledge the traditional people of this land, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat peoples, and specifically the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nation. As such, we are actually guests on this space, and it is our shared obligation to respect, to honor, and sustain this land that we are on. Women Focus Canada actually recognizes that Indigenous practices of health and well-being has been in place in this territory for over 10,000 years and are maintained to this day. We also recognize the special relationship Indigenous and non-Indigenous people have affirmed treaties signed at a nation level. And I would also be sharing this disclaimer. Women Focus Canada, this is the mission, is dedicated to relieve poverty through delivery of transformative programs. The mission of this organization is to relieve, like I said, poverty by providing basic needs to those that are most vulnerable in Canada, and by removing barriers for basic human necessities that will improve opportunities and outcomes. So the vision is to discover, to learn, to empower, and also to inspire life. I'm going to be inviting the president, Women Focus Canada. It's a CEO, she's a founder of this great organization, Dr. Oluremi Adewale. She's a purpose-driven leader. She's a seasoned healthcare professional with decades of experience in Canada. Her influence on women and girls' health and well-being and socio-economic empowerment has actually impacted thousands of lives, both locally and internationally. I welcome you, Dr. Oluremi Adewale.
And good morning, everyone. A very big welcome from Women Focus Canada to the 2024 International Women's Day event. My name, as you have been told, is Dr. Oluremi Adewale. I feel much, and I feel I must begin today's event by acknowledging the challenges of the last few years. We have faced and we continue to face many trials, from the COVID-19 pandemic to the rising everyday costs at the grocery store. We have all been through a lot. The impact has been felt, the greatest among those that are vulnerable, subpopulations, among women, children, and those with disabilities, and many more. I know many of you may feel anxious and worried about the world we find ourselves in. I want to assure you that you are not alone. In times like this, it is critical to lean on our communities, our loved ones, and to support one another. We all have support systems. We need to find out where our support systems are, and we need to use them. I'm here to say that while it is okay not to feel okay, it is not okay not to get help. During our event today, I encourage you to think of the role model that each of us can play in supporting each other during times like this. How can we continue to flourish ourselves and build up others at the same time? That's a question for you to think about. That is the theme for today's event. unlocking growth, our own personal growth, and our community's growth. Luckily for us, we are surrounded by examples of women doing exactly that. For instance, one of our amazing moderators today is a young leader who took part in 2023 Women Focus Canada's Youth Civic Engagement Program. Similarly, I am happy to let you know that one of our remarkable speakers today is a young leader who also took part in the 2023 Women Focus Canada Youth Civic Engagement Program, same as other women have done for me. I am superly proud to be supporting them in their leadership journey. I am greatly looking forward to them learning about them and about what they will be sharing today. If that is not enough inspiration, allow me to highlight 3 other successful women who have made a splash in the fields over the past years. In the music industry, Beyonce, highly successful world tour, brought in an estimated 2.1 to 4.1 billion US dollars. In film, Greta Gerwig Barbie film was the biggest unveiling ever for a film directed by a woman. In politics, the Honorable Dr. Jean Augustine became the first African-Canadian woman elected to the House of Commons. While there are countless examples of women illustrating leadership on the national and international stage, we have many local examples as well. Our own Youth Civic Engagement YSEL program engaged young people from 12 different academic institutions last year by and led by Women Focus Canada. All 100% of participants indicated they had a better understanding of leadership and personal branding as a result of this opportunity. While Women Focus Canada remain committed to empowering young women, we cannot do this one alone. We need you to support us. Today on International Women's Day, I urge you to join us in unlocking the growth of women, youth, and other marginalized groups. To inspire your thinking, allow me to suggest a few ways that we can do this. Number 1, educate yourself. Joining our webinar today is a wonderful first step in learning more about women's issues and becoming an ally. Number 2, become a mentor. You have a wealth of knowledge and experience that a young person will find most crucial. Visit our website, www.womenfocuscanada.org, if you are interested in volunteer for Women Focus Canada. And thirdly, reach out. Engage with a woman in your life to better understand how you can support her journey. Thank you so much. Now it is my amazing privilege to ask you to all join me as I welcome the fantastic moderators that we have today, Lila, Mansour, and Fenella Bruce, to take it off from here. Thank you so much. Enjoy this.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Remy, for that inspiring start to this great session. And I welcome my co-moderator this morning, Leila, to the panel as well.
Thank you so much, Vanilla. That's going to be very hard to top, Dr. Remy. Very inspiring and motivating this morning. Yeah, we have people from all over the globe, literally. It's so exciting to see people. Thank you, all of you, for joining us today. We're going to invite Sade for a poll now.
Okay, we have this poll for everybody. So I want everybody to pay attention. It's going to be on just for a few seconds. Does investing in women matter? That is the question. So I'm expecting people to start to respond. It's a yes or no question. So it's pretty easy. So we're getting answers. This is really amazing. 23 people, 25 people
Wow.
have responded. And just the poll ends now so we can continue. Okay. We have 100% results. So everybody clap for yourself. Okay.
So it is with great pleasure that I introduce our very first speaker, Dr. Angela Cooper-Brathwaite. Dr. Cooper-Brathwaite is a past president of the Registered Nurses Association of Ontario and adjunct professor at Ontario Technology University. She has a national and international nursing experience and is a fellow of the American Academy of Nursing. She was appointed to the Order of Ontario and the Order of Canada in 2022. I am very honored to introduce you, Dr. Angela Cooper-Brathwaite. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Leila. It's my pleasure to speak to you today. Today, I'm going to talk to you about preventing type 2 diabetes in ethnic minorities. Today, as we celebrate women and girls around the world, I just want to remind you how unique you are. Each individual is unique, but women have influential power that most men don't have. We have it, it comes natural to us as mothers, as sisters, as friends, as colleagues. We are able to influence one another. And I want you to please recognize your unique contribution to the world, to motherhood, to sisterhood, to wife, to partner, to friends and colleagues. In 1865, William Ross Wallace said, "The hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world." He praised motherhood as the preeminent force for change in the world. So the purpose of my presentation today is to enhance participants' knowledge and skills to prevent type 2 diabetes. Research findings have shown that lifestyle changes among ethnic minorities make a difference. And I want to provide strategies on how to prevent type 2 diabetes. So what is diabetes? Diabetes is a chronic condition that occurs when the body does not produce enough insulin or when it cannot use the insulin effectively. And there are many factors, we call them modifiable factors. And when we say modifiable factors, it means you could do something about these factors I'm going to name. Obesity and overweight. And the research is now showing that obesity is linked to a protein called leptin, and the level is on the chromosome 2. Then pre-diabetes, and a lot of people in Canada and around the globe have pre-diabetes and they don't know they have it because they were never tested. You have impaired fasting glucose. Again, another modifiable risk factor, physical inactivity, unhealthy eating, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. No alternative. Non-modifiable risk. These, you can't do anything about your genetics. So if you have a family history, parents or siblings, you might. It doesn't say you will, because you can modify what you do to prevent yourself from having type 2 diabetes. So how are we going to reduce some of these risks? We could have physical activity, moderate to high physical activity, 30 minutes per day, and you could do it in periods of 10 minutes. 10 minutes 3 times a day, if you can't do 30 minutes at one time. A maximum of 150 minutes per week. To eat healthy diets, to eat vegetables. So if you have a plate on your table, your plate, half of it should be vegetables with some fruit, quarter of it should be carbs, and the other quarter is protein. So healthy eating. I want you to look at the cans that you look at. Okay, what's written on the cans? so that you know what's in those cans added to the food, or the bottles that you drink, the drinks that you drink. See how many calories are there. You want to eat food that is less than 55%, okay? What you need to do is to make sure you engage in physical activity. About 10 years ago, World Health Organization called physical activity the wonder drug of the world. Do you know why they call it the wonder drug of the world? It relieves the stress. It reduces your blood glucose level. It also helps to increase your bone strength, your mobility. It prevents Alzheimer's. The benefits are innumerable. So engaging in physical activity and keeping yourself fit is good for your health. So I am sharing this knowledge to increase your knowledge. But if you have knowledge and you don't apply it, it's useless. So culturally tailored interventions. Research has shown that culturally tailored interventions compared to standard programs are more effective in improving health outcomes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Braithwaite, for that very informative session. So with that, I'd like to introduce our next speaker. Her name is Cedra Al-Shamali. She's a compassionate 15-year-old Syrian refugee living in Canada, co-founded Elegant Art at the age of 11 to help displaced children through art. Being featured on many news channels like CBC and Global and more, the organization creates art on plantable postcards to raise funds for their current focus, children in Syrian refugee camps. Cedra, also a youth advocate, a writer, has been writing a book that advocates for the voiceless and talks about her family's journey to safety for 4 years now. Cedra's determination is evident through her public speaking engagements, earning her awards from government leaders and a commitment to making others smile through her impactful work. Welcome, Cedra.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for that very warm welcome and for that beautiful introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Cedra Al-Shamali. I'm 16 years old, and it's truly an honor to be here among such inspiring individuals, such inspiring speakers as well, and people from all around the world with our shared commitment on women's empowerment and rights. I'm so happy to be here with you all today. Before we dive in, I'd like to invite you all to reflect on the most pressing issues facing women today. If you can just write down your thoughts in the chat about what you think the most pressing issues for women today are, and feel free to mention any personal experience as well if you want as well. And if there are any men here as well, please do participate in this, because I'm curious about your perspective of women-related obstacles, and I'm sure many other women are as well. So I'll give you all a minute to write down some of your thoughts, and I'll also throw in an issue I think is quite big for women to give you all inspiration. I think that community support is a barrier a lot of women have when they present ideas, their work, their visions to society. They don't get much in return, I find often. And believe it or not, I think that resilience and confidence is all we need to overcome all of these issues. Do you think it's a bit too ambitious? Well, let's walk through it together so we can come to the same conclusion. So let me take you back to the start of 2011. In Syria, the leaves in my grandpa's farm rustled in the wind as me and my cousins played in the sandbox, fighting over who gets the majestic red shovel, which was something very special for me as a 3-year-old, because I didn't know better. I was surrounded by all of my relatives, going from one's house to the others, and life was great. I was very happy, and I had an ordinary childhood. Fast forward to 2012, my ordinary childhood was no longer in the frame. I was crying while I held my mom's hand and ran as fast as I could, dodging bullets that came from right to left. The war had arrived. The war had been ongoing in my home country, Syria, and I saw people die in front of my eyes. As a mere 4-year-old, I saw my family getting hurt, I saw my home being destroyed, and I saw my grandpa's farm, the place I used to laugh and play with my cousins in, falling to pieces. But my parents did what they had to do to protect me and my 2-year-old sister at the time, so they took us and we fled outside of Syria. We fled to a neighboring country, Turkey. And the trip there was terrifying from start to finish, but we made it as penniless refugees who believed that they'd be able to return to their home in a matter of months. So here we are in Canada since 2016. After all we've been through, I came here as a mature 8-year-old, feeling true happiness for the first time in 5 years. And me and my family were welcomed here with smiling faces that beamed at us with such kindness. It was so hard to believe that this is the same world we had been living in all along. But this isn't quite what I mean when I say resilience. Resilience is the process of adapting to challenging situations, but to adapt means to turn your challenges into a positive segue. And how do you do that? Well, let me give you an example. Me and my sister started our own organization in 2012 as 11 and 9-year-olds. Elegant Art was initiated, our organization name is Elegant Art, so it was initiated in the hope of helping all of the children like us who we had to leave behind, all the people who are still suffering to this day. Taking our passion, which is art, we started drawing pictures that represent the situation of these children and then selling them in the form of plantable postcards. In 2020, it was said that around 630,000 people worked in the humanitarian sector. And that seems very impressive until you compare it with the total population of the world, which is almost 8 billion people. So we really need to step up our game. And I'm so, so glad to be surrounded by all you amazing people, all of you resilient people. So I believe that we can make it. We can make advocates in the world more known, and we can make a bigger impact. And because when you go out of your own way to help others deal with an issue that was once present in your life, you'll be benefiting yourself most. You'll be able to heal from the issue because you're helping others not end up like yourself. You're seeing them smile because of your work, and that itself will create peace within yourself. I think that itself will take all of the traumatizing experiences you have gone through, all the negative experiences you have gone through, and turn it into a positive cause because you're seeing others smile because of something you did. So step one, definitely take these extra miles to be resilient. So as we celebrate International Women's Day, let's commit to resilience and confidence. Let's stand together, unwavering in our pursuit of equality and justice, and let's reconvene next year to celebrate the strides we've made. I'm a 16-year-old young woman who has gone through a lot and is trying to be resilient and confident using my passion and determination. So I know all of you can give it your all as well and stand with these two big things, resilience and confidence. Thank you all for listening to me.
So our next speaker is Adiola Fayahan, and she is a political satirist who uses humor to analyze African affairs. She's a journalist, satirist, and a YouTuber founder. Please welcome Adiola.
Hi, my name is Adiola Fayahan. Thank you so much for having me. I am grateful. I am humbled to be here. It's such a huge privilege. Women Focus Canada, by the way, you guys are doing amazing. You're touching lives. So thank you so much for having me. I'm starting by asking everybody a question. Please put the answer in the comment section. I just want to see your response. And which gender do you think has the higher population in the world? Is it men? Is it women? Please, you have 10 seconds. Put it in the comment section. Majority of the people are putting down women as the higher population. Wow. Okay. Let me just break it to you. I hate to burst your bubble. So many of you grew up believing that we actually have more men than women in the world. Yes, by a slight margin. All data, all statistics say that we actually have more men. Actually, we have about 50.4% men, and then we have like 49.6% women. So why did I ask this question? Because it is because there are some problems that we need to address. A lot of people are not even aware of these problems, and that is why we're doing this. The problem is women are not well treated as men. That's the problem. Worldwide, not just like in some places. And so I'm going to highlight just a few of the problems. Number one, do you know that women are not as educated as men? Another reason that I'm talking about this is because apart from the fact that women are not as educated as men, do you know when a woman is not as educated, she's already at a disadvantage. She cannot compete on the same level as her male counterpart. Now, even if a woman is educated, she gets all these degrees, I want to ask a question in the comment section one more time. If a man and a woman has the same qualification and they applied for the same job, in so many instances, who do you think gets paid higher? Someone wrote women. Men, yes, the man. These are people who have the same qualifications. They both went to school, they both got a degree, they have the same qualification. The man still get paid just because of agenda. Nobody chooses the agenda, by the way. We wake up one day and we are told you are a man, you are a woman. Oh, okay, that is the body you've been given to work with. There's the real you inside that body. We need to equip our women for entrepreneurship and investment. If they don't want to deal with business, they don't want to have their own business, they need to know how to invest. This is because we want to make sure that our women, our girls, our daughters learn to be financially free. A woman must be financially free, which leads me to why we have to do all these things. Number one, when you educate a woman, people say you educate a family. In fact, they say you educate an entire nation. And then when a woman is financially free, she becomes an asset, not a liability. We don't want them to be liability, having to depend on anybody before they can survive. Thank you so much once again for having me. All right, guys, peace out.
Thank you so much, Adiola. That was so energizing, and you have pointed out very, very important points that all of us should take away, regardless of gender. But as you pointed out during your talk, especially the men in our communities need to be listening. So I'm going to ask Shade. She has a final poll for us.
We have a final poll. I'm going to launch the poll now. I hope you can all see the poll. How confident are you that investing in programs focused on women's education and skill development to national economic growth, how confident are you in that? We have different answers. I'll just go quickly through it. Very confident that, very confident, very confident. Somebody says it makes a huge difference. Another one says confident. I would say confident and continue to do this. Confident. Another one says we must lead as always. The hand that rocks the cradle needs to be consulted and included. We should be part of this national economic growth. We should continue to educate. Confident, lots of confidence. Diverse perspective from the man that both sexes can use to work towards a good economy, better life. So those are part of the amazing responses we have today from our participants, and we are very thankful for that.
We have the first question for Dr. Brathwaite. It's from Juliana. She asks, can diabetes that affect women during pregnancy be prevented?
When you're pregnant and you have diabetes, you have more complications. You can't, to prevent diabetes, you could prevent it whether you're pregnant or non-pregnant by making certain changes. For example, being physically active, making sure the food that you eat, you have more fruit and vegetables as compared to carbohydrates.
What are the contents to avoid or look out for in canned items so as to avoid any form?
You're looking at the sugar content and also the fat, saturated fat, the percentage of it fat in whether it's milk or whether it's any food. When you look at the can, you're looking at the saturated fats and the sugar content and the carbohydrates.
Why is there not equality with minorities in North America? For example, I am a Black man living in the US who is finishing up my doctorate of business administration. Why is there so much discrimination in the workplace for minority men and women?
The reason why there's no equality for minorities is because, quite frankly, because we are minorities. And so we have to learn to be assertive, to speak up, and to fight for our rights. Otherwise, people have a way they've been doing things, and then you came along, you need to let them know that you're here. Otherwise, they really don't care that you're here.
Given the pushback by governments to protect women and girls worldwide, I would like to know, how can we all call for changes in legislations around the world in protecting women and girls' rights?
Sometimes because we focus so much on trying to make a world impact that we are forgetting to start with our local community. We need to start with our local community. Some of us may not even know the people that are representing us. You need to start by knowing who your representatives are and contacting them. You need to know how to contact them, how to submit petitions and so on, so that instead of focusing on the big picture, focus on the small picture, make an impact where you are, and then it's like a ripple effect. It would get to international, and it would be worldwide impact.
Do you think mental or emotional health affects women during pregnancy? And what's the normal blood sugar level?
Your emotional health impact you during pregnancy. At any time, your emotional health. You see, we not only body, we have mind, we have spirit, we have different components that make us up human beings. What you see here is just the shell, but we have feelings and emotions. All those things impact us. And that's why stress, they say stress is a killer. Because if your stress level is too high, whether it's at work, through work-related activities, at home, or whatever, it impacts you. Want something below 6.5, I would say maybe 4.5 to maybe 5.7. Once it goes over 6, this starts to say you are pre-diabetic.
I would like to pass it over to Rachel Prashad right now to do some acknowledgements before we give a final wrap up.
And thank you everyone for joining. I want to take this time to acknowledge and thank the committee members and volunteers that made this event possible. There's Rowena Power, Dr. Claudette Holloway, Elizabeth Nkbula, Kemi Oduwole, Rachel Prashad, myself, Dr. Oluremi Adewale. And I also want to give thanks to our volunteers, Sade Akibe, Bami Adewale, Sabina Chipasha.
Thank you so much to everyone for joining us for this wonderful celebration of International Women's Day for 2024. I hope that you found this session insightful, inspiring, motivating.
When you invest in a woman, you outrightly build a nation and technically grow the informal sector.
Investing in women creates a stable environment for unity and peace, as women are a link in the chain for growth and survival of humanity.
It is very important to invest into a woman, because whatever a woman is given in her hands, she multiplies. And therefore, you're not just looking at investing into a woman, but into a community and generations after.
Are you aware that we need more women in leadership positions? Because, empowering women is smart economics. We as women, we have the ability to paint the future, achieve a more financial outcome, and of course, the ability to wear many more hats.
Think, invest in women, unlock growth. Happy International Women's Day to all the women across the globe.
Thank you everyone. Thank you for being here today. We really appreciate the attendance. We appreciate the time from different time zones. Thank you, Dr. Adewale. Thank you to these amazing speakers. I love you all. Thank you to the moderators. That was amazing. You guys worked together.